The New South Wales Government has failed the people of this state and our essential rail workers. The government decided to purchase Korean trains, sending jobs and taxpayers' money overseas. Disgracefully, the trains are $1 billion over budget and already 2 years late. The Korean trains have been found to be defective, from not fitting on our tracks and our platforms to being a major safety concern that puts members of the public at risk. The new inner-city fleet wouldn't have safety issues if the New South Wales Government had decided to build our trains here in Australia by our New South Wales workers. The government's obsession with sending manufacturing overseas results in taxpayers getting dodgy transport. Our transport should be built right here in New South Wales so that our trains actually fit the tracks and don't endanger the public. Our rail workers have rightfully continued to state that they will refuse to drive the new intercity fleet until the major safety issues are sufficiently addressed. They are protecting the residents of New South Wales. The Federal Court of Australia ruling supports this, and an independent assessment verifies that there are safety issues that need to be addressed. The South Korean trains came directly off the shelf and are not fit for our New South Wales railways, which is an older system with lots of curved platforms. The major safety issues have been highlighted for years by rail workers. These safety concerns result from train guards being unable to satisfactorily monitor the platform during arrival and departure. Rail workers need to be able to see when the train approaches and when the train departs, so that they can view the platform adequately. The RTBU, the Rail, Tram and Bus Union, is asking that cameras be upgraded and positioned correctly, because at the moment, when the doors open, they actually obscure the CCTV footage. Unlike the other trains on our state's network, we need our guards standing at open train doorways and out on the platforms so that they can see passengers. We need to ensure we are protecting the public at large, including our children and residents with disabilities. If the government cared about the safety of New South Wales residents, they would take notice of the independent assessor who stated the following: "There will be an unacceptable risk to the travelling public if the New South Wales Trains proposed operating model is implemented, particularly to the most vulnerable of the travelling public, that is, children and movement impaired passengers. It is absolutely disgraceful that the Liberal Minister for Employment Relations has disregarded that the dodgy Korean trains will endanger members of the public in their current state when experts are highlighting the safety issues, and he has had no involvement and knowledge relating to the trains previously. The Liberals and Nationals have absolutely been engaging in political point scoring and games with our transport system, and the public deserve better. The New South Wales Rail, Tram and Bus Union is committed to getting the trains on the tracks if the government ensures the safety of the trains is improved. The Premier has met with a driver and guard to hear their safety concerns. Premier Perrottet needs to ensure that the modifications needed are made to the NIF trains. The trains must be safe, and the Liberal and National Government must prioritise our public safety instead of simply blaming unions for the defective Korean trains not running. The safety of every commuter must be the priority when these trains are put on our network. The government should fix the safety issues so the trains can be used safely on the tracks.